So I'm gonna do 2 videos on how to rig your sail. The first set is a club set for those of you who have club spars. So when you have club spars, you're going to unroll and take your sprit out. And one of the perks of COVID is you'll have plenty of space on the dock. And you're gonna undo your sail all the way. And your sail will already be tied on, right? So what I want to do is just talk about how tight your sail ties should be. So first off, I hope everybody can appreciate that this is very low from the top of the mast. This is the top of our mast and this is the top of our sail. We want our sail as high as we can get it. So the way we're going to do this is, one, by loosening our diagonal tie, and that's a big question I always ask you guys, is how tight should the diagonal tie be? And the answer is tight enough to keep the sail from popping off the top. Now, as you can see, I'm pulling on this and it's not coming up. So what I need to do is not just keep pulling, but actually go down to the bottom of the sail and pull up where the boom is tied on down here. Okay, you should not need to go above this knob right here, okay? This is your preventer knob. Don't go above that. Okay, and then individually slide each sail tie up. Okay, seems annoying, but this is going to be the easiest way to get out. Now our sail is up. So now we need to just make sure that we get our diagonal tie tight enough to prevent this from going off the top. That's all this is doing. So this sail tie is a little short. Hopefully all of you have a little longer. So that's still a little too loose. And parents, I know a lot of you are probably going to be helping with this, so just know that it can take a while to get the finesse of tying sail ties down. But once you've done it enough, it's like second nature. So I like how tight this diagonal is. Now let's talk about how tight this top sail tie should be. I would argue that if you want to leave it like this, you can, but you might want to get it a little tighter if it's windier out, because you can kind of see the air through the sail. So I'm going to leave this for now, but we'll show you an example of what's too loose if I can get this undone, which I can. And this is what I don't want to see. Don't want to see is something like this. This is too loose, okay? I can almost fit my pinky through there. All right, so that is too loose. And a quick reminder on how to tie a square knot, which we will do in class. You can either do right over left or left over right. I've always done left over right first. So you can go left over right, tie a knot just like you do in your shoes. And then I usually kind of use my pinky to hold the knot down, and then you crisscross again, right over left, or the opposite if you did right over left first, left over right. And that's how we can get this tight. Now I'm just going to talk about the other corner sail ties, but because of everything, your corner sail ties are what matter the most. So coming down here, we have another set of corner ties. And I would argue that this purple is too loose. This I'm going to fix once the sail is up. A little easier to do that when the sail is up. The top one is the easiest to do when your sail is down. And we're just going to check out these couple top sail ties before we put the sail up, because these are harder to reach once you have the sail up. So the way you kind of check how tight this should be is you take your hands like you're catching a frisbee, you pull the sail back, and what you don't want to see is what you see here, which is you can completely see the light through, okay? You want to just see a credit card's width through. So I'm going to tighten this if I can, and that way I won't have to do that once the sail is up, because we all know it's a pain to get your sail set up and then find out that your top sail ties are not correct. So again, I kind of use my lower pinky and ring finger to hold the knot tight. And then this is a little tight, but as we all know, it's a little breezier in San Francisco Bay. Okay, This sail tie is okay. I'm good with that. This sail tie is inappropriate for the sail. It is a club sail, so hopefully this isn't like this on your sails, but we really don't want these long tails, okay? So now that's kind of what I want to talk about on the ground. If you'd like, you can put your sprit on before you put your sail up, but I'm going to wait because I actually have the port side of my sail facing up right now. So now I'm going to lift up my mast, making sure my boom doesn't hit anybody as I'm going. And parents, if you need to help your child, you know, the higher up you have your hand, the easier it is. And I'm gonna come in, and the reason why we talked earlier about setting your boat up correctly is so that when it's time to put this in, there's nothing in the way of the mast cup down there. You wanna just kind of film underneath. So we've got our mast cup right there, and so we don't want the bow line or anything in the way. And we're just gonna go right in, and now we're in. And now we see that the boom is not connected to the mast. This is the gooseneck. So the way we get this on is we can lift the boom up like so, and then kind of pivot it on to the mast. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about getting your sail fine-tuned. I'm just going to grab the sprit in a second, but something I wanna show you is this is our sprit halyard, and this is not the greatest system. This should already be in here, but with the club spars, this is gonna be here. Usually this is already through, your sprit halyard's already through. None of this is twisted. Honestly, I think when I let this go, it's gonna come out, but I'll put the sprit up and then we will get it set up. So, how do you know what side your sprit goes on? I'm lazy, and the way I remember is it is on the same side as your outhaul cleat right here. This is your outhaul, and this is the outhaul cleat. So sprit's always gonna go on the same side as that. So you're gonna grab your sprit, put it in, lift it up, and then, you know, hopefully your sprit halyard is not like this one. And I'm gonna get this through. So we need as much slack as we can get. So we're gonna let this off. All right, get our sprit in our sprit halyard. And you know, that's kind of ugly, so I'm just gonna put it up a little bit. And now I wanna talk about our sail ties.